Hey fellow mutants, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to talk about the rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and 10 ways the film gave closer to the series. Now, as you guys may know, I've said before that I haven't been the best, I haven't been the biggest fan of the rise of the Turtles show, but I think the movie is better than the show, and I'm happy that I initially watched the show regardless how my viewpoint is of the show, because it did give me some background knowledge of this first on the Turtles going into the movie. Was the movie came out on August 8th of 2022, being this year, and admittedly my expectations were low for the movie. I was looking forward to the movie partially because I knew the guy who played Sora in the Kingdom Hearts series was going to play Casey Jones. And that how this movie ends, it did leave out for like a potential continuation for the series, like a season 3. Which at first the series was going to have like 3 seasons. And before I get into the article, I gotta say this. If the series actually, if the Rise of the Ninja Turtles movie has a season 3 that's set after the events of the movie, then, and I think I'll be more up to it now, especially if they keep the same tone as they had in the movie, which I guess potentially means they might have to stay on Netflix, because Nickelodeon, I don't think Nickelodeon will let these Frozen Turtles get as gritty or as intense as Netflix did. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But anywho, let's get into this article, shall we? After a long wait in anticipation, The Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles dropped on Netflix in all its amazing animated glory. The movie quickly became one of the top 5 viewed children's media in a matter of days. With mixture of over-the-top action and intense emotion, it was everything fans had hoped for and more. And yeah, before I continue, The Rise of the Ninja Turtles movie, they brought out what I was hoping to see in the Turtles, like emotion, the Turtles taking things a bit more seriously than I've seen mostly in the show. Splinter actually not being so much of a couch potato. Like, everybody had their roles to play in the movie, and it complemented the Ninja Turtle lore very, like, in my opinion, better than the television show. And I think one of the best parts in the movie was when Leonardo, like, throughout the movie, Leonardo kind of like struggles of putting on that playful side that we came to know him to be in as like the playful Leonardo that we came to know him as in the show, and take on him a bit of a more serious role and a leadership role, and I really did enjoy that. So there are other things that I feel like they honored and did right to the Ninja Turtle lore in the movie, but I won't get into that in this video because I feel like I did that in my review for the movie. And if you guys want me to, I can make another video just talking about what I think they did the best in the Rise of the Ninja Turtle movie. Anywho, let's get back to the article. Some think that with enough hype, the show will get a second chance and finish season 2 properly, while as getting a 3rd season. If the movie is where it all ends, however, most will agree that the Rise of the TMNT went out with a bang. Now, I think the season 2 did end pretty decent. I think how season 2 ended, led into like season 3, into the movie beautifully, and how the movie ended, if they wanted to, could easily like blend into the TV show beautifully, into the third season beautifully, or like the way the Rise of the Ninja Turtle movie ended, it has like it ended in a unique spot where if it didn't continue the series, hey, it would be good. It would be a satisfying ending, and it will leave like fan fiction, like head canon, to fans of what happened to the turtles and their allies after the events of the movie, or they could wrap it up with the third season and have that be the final season. Either way, I think it'll be good, especially if like they keep the same tone as the movie, as I stated before. Anyways, like mother, like son. The name Casey Jones has been in TMNT media ever since the original 1984 comic book series. Casey has often been an adult male who commits acts of vigilantism using sports equipment while wearing a hockey mask. He changed slightly in the 2012 series to a teenager wearing a more skull face mask. And in the Rise TV show, it was revealed that the Foot recruit's real name was Cassandra Casey Jones, being Casey's mother. The Jones legacy lives on in her son, Casey Jr. Similar to Cassandra, he fights with sports equipment with a few adjustments. His hockey stick, for example, doubles as a chain, while also donning a hockey mask. Casey painted red stripes over the eyes to represent future Leo. This implies that Leo raised him after future Cassandra died. As Casey remained in the present, what's next for him is unclear, though hopefully he meets his fierce teen mom. Admittedly, that would be funny to see. That would be great to see. Referring to the past, at the end of the movie, the remaining Krang are loaded onto a truck by government-looking men in suits. TMNT fans know it's a reference. The Earth Protection Force, or EPF, first appeared in the 2003 TMNT TV series. EPF was made by President Ulysses S. Grant as a means of protecting Earth from aliens, led by Agent John Bishop. The boys and Bishop didn't get along, as Bishop mistook them for hostile aliens, and I remember that too. EPF and Bishop shows up again in the 2012 series. They were more begrudging allies this time. While they only make a cameo at the end of the Rise movie, this adds to the lore. If EPF exists in this series, and if the show does continue, this opens up a possibility that the Rise crew, meaning the EPF and Bishop, not to mention possibly fighting aliens again. I'll be up for that if they do it well. Power of teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. Though it took a while for the Turtle family, while defeating the Shredder, they became complacent. Liam most of all. He let the victory and an overall resilience to his mystic power and weapons get to his head. This is what caused Raphael to get captured by the Krang, and almost got Donnie and Mikey crushed in their turtle tank. Leo had to be told off by Casey before accepting he was wrong. It was only when he encouraged the others to help him form a plan did they begin seeing results. Not only were they able to rescue Raph, but they also got their mystic powers back after the Krang stole them earlier. Coming together as both team and family is what allowed them to gain the upper hand. This is a lesson they would take with them in the future battles, which I would love to see in season 3. This whole power of teamwork bit is exactly why, if a season 3 happens, I will be on board with, because I want to see that aspect that I don't think really was played out for the most part in the Rise versions of the Turtles yet. April has been portrayed as a white female adult. Oh, April O'Neil, journalist. So has been portrayed by a white female adult in the comic books in 1987 and 2003 TV series, and as a white teenager in 2012 series. She returns to teenhood in Rise with a few noticeable differences. She wears glasses, has been friends with the Turtles for years, and she's a black teen girl. The original creators of the comics, Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, initially envisioned April as a black woman. And I remember some people having heart attacks over April being black. I didn't really care that April was black. All I really cared about is them, if they're gonna bring April in the show and will turn out to be the movie, initially having the things that made April still, like in terms of personality and her roots. And I think they did that pretty decently in the show and movie. And they even set her up in the movie to be a journalist. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that aspect. So I wasn't disappointed with April, to be honest. The original series had her as a reporter of Channel 6 News. 2003, April disguised herself as a reporter, donning her predecessor's iconic yellow jumpsuit. She also was a store owner that sold antiques, if memory serves me right, of the 2003 version. Rise April has a knack for finding anything and anyone strange around New York. Not only did she mention wanting to be a journalist, but she was also proudly a part of a news anchor Warren Stone's fan club. It made sense that she would study journalism at East Lard University, which, let's just talk about East Lard University, because I don't think I mentioned that in my review for the movie. I see what you guys did there. Don't you think I did not see that? Because, see the two names on top? Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. They're the creators of the Ninja Turtles. So when I saw that in the movie, right, I quickly knew what pun they were making. And I actually have to say I dug it. I really, really dug it. So as critical as I've been to the Rise version of the Ninja Turtles, I have to give them props where props is due, and that was great. I love that. That was a slick pun. And if you guys didn't know the Ninja Turtle lore, then you guys would have known that East Lard University was a pun to Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, the co-creators of the Ninja Turtles. Anywho, Donnie has feelings. A bit of a theater kid, Donnie goes all into a matter when he goes in no matter what he's doing. Oftentimes excessively. Some might think he doesn't really care about others, especially after experimenting on his brothers twice. Not to mention wanting to shoot an enemy with a deadly laser he built. However, this version of the tech genius allows him to have teenagerisms. Though emotionally impaired, Donnie doesn't have a heart under the battle cell. Sorry. Though emotionally impaired, Donnie does have a heart under the battle shell. This goes beyond only allowing Mikey to hug him. After fleeing home in his escape pod, there's a flash of fear in his eyes when he said he never thought they would have to use them. Additionally, when it looked like Leo wasn't coming back from the prison dimension, Donnie actually started crying. That was a pretty interesting, intense, emotional scene for that movie. And I believe I said in my review for the movie how like I knew Leo was going to come back, but there was also that part of me that got sucked into the scene. I said, oh shit, is Leo coming back? So I like that. That was pretty cool. Round-rounded Mikey, usually the youngest of the four brothers, Mikey has often been shown as the unpredictable, happy-go-lucky airhead. He tends to make klutzy decisions and ends up smacked around by his brothers for his trouble. He is the youngest, often acting immaturely in serious situations, like shamelessly shouting in a library, but he does have more depth to him than previous versions. He's more emotionally varied, expressing both intense anger and strong empathy. The latter especially when it comes to Drexum, one turtle hype squad. Mikey believes his brothers can do anything, even if the toughest situations. He believes in Leo, and is what allowed him to open a magical portal to the prison dimension, even though he was working through tears. Raph passes the torch, so in this version of the Rise of the Ninja Turtles, Raph has been the leader and the oldest. So keep that in mind. Leo has traditionally been the leader of the group, but Rise flipped the script a bit and made Raph the leader, and he was the oldest, which I didn't really exactly mind that, because I thought that was a pretty interesting concept that they did. So I didn't really mind that when I remember hearing about it. Being the oldest brother and the leader of the team must have put a lot of weight and stress on the soldiers. He even made a small breakdown about it towards the end of the season 2's abrupt finale. But those years of leadership did not end up helping Leo in the movie. After Raph gets captured by the Krang, Leo has to step up and take over. Before that, he's gotten complacent and wasn't able to take things seriously. Raph kept telling him he just didn't get what is meant to lead and responsible for others' lives. Though Leo had to go through some traumatic events, he eventually understood. Raph will always be the big brother, but at least now he gets to relax a little. And now they're going to Leonardo, the leader. Even before Spencer made him a leader, Leo showed promise throughout the show. He motivated his brothers like when they were feeling down, and been known to use strategy when his ego doesn't get in the way. While he was perfectly fine being the charismatic, cool guy, pretty much like in Raphael's mental being the Raphael was cool but rude. Well, Raphael was still rude, but Leonardo was cool, or supposed to be the cool one before. Leo didn't shy away from leading. Being freshly thrust into a leadership role is terrifying, but Leo dove right in. Once he realized it wasn't all about him, his strategic mind came to light. With this mentality, Leo will continue to learn and grow into his new leadership role, which is another thing I would love to see in this show, because so far this Leonardo is my least favorite Leonardo. Leonardo is my favorite Ninja Turtle as a whole. Like, for them, like, in general, when someone asks me, who's your favorite Ninja Turtle, Phil? It will always be Leonardo. Like, unless if you're going to talk about, like, Pacific shows. Because, like, the 1980s, the 2003, and the 2012 versions will be Leonardo in terms of TV shows. The 1990s versions will also be Leonardo. The Michael Bay versions, I would have to say, is Michelangelo. And both Rise and Next Mutation version of the Turtles, it will also be Michelangelo. But if we just talk about who's my favorite turtle overall, it's Leonardo. So I would love to see a season 3 of this show, also tackling on Leonardo being leader, and see this power of teamwork that they mentioned earlier. We got two more left. Hope in Darkness. Since the movie deals with the alien invasion, there's plenty of dark, teary-jerking moments. The opening sequence shows everyone dying by the Krang, and even future Leo bleeding. And I was so surprised when they had future Leo say badass. I did not expect that. Even like Black Nerd Review or Black Nerd Comedy even was surprised about that. And Black Nerd Comedy, like, he's one person that rivals me as being a Ninja Turtle fan. And he was even surprised when Leonardo cursed. That is a really good way of subverting expectations. Anywho, not to mention the Krang infested Raph's mind and with his tentacles to find the boy's hideout. However, as Future Leo said, a ninja's greatest weapon is hope. And while there were many hopeless moments, these iconic heroes were able to persevere because they never truly lost hope. Sorry. My cat's trying to get in. Be right back. So this is my cat Nemo, for any of you guys who are wondering. He also has his own channel, which I will link in the description of this video. Love you, Nemo. But let's actually finish the series videos, shall we? As my cat will try everything in his power to distract me. The world will always need the turtles. On the end of the movie, everyone takes to social media to discuss the invasion. Pictures are shown on a few cell phones, and someone comments on a blurry image of the boys saying they're heroes. This is what the turtles represent. They will always be heroes for the people. It doesn't matter if they're children or adults, in Leo's words. They will always rise to the challenge and defend their home. No matter what they look like or what series they're in, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles will always have fans awaiting their adventures. And that's true. And I think that's why, like, the Turtles have lasted for, like, what, 30, 40-ish years? It's because, well, it's been, like, what, 35 years? Give or take, that the Turtles been around? First of all, because the whole concept of turtles being human form as well as being ninjas, like, is a wacky concept in itself. And two, at least for the most part, the things that came out with the turtles has honored the Ninja Turtle lore. The only one that I feel like hasn't really honored the Turtles lore has to be the Next Mutation Turtles. Those did not really feel like the Ninja Turtles that we were introduced with for all this time. I mean, I'm happy that Venus is finally making a comeback in the comic books, but Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo, Splinter, Shredder did not feel exactly like the persons, or they didn't feel like the root, like, their portrayal in that show did not feel like the characters at heart, if that makes sense. But yeah, like I said, I think that's part of the reason why the Turtles has lasted so long, is because no matter what, for the most part, every show, every comic book has really, like, every video game, every movie has honored the Ninja Turtle lore and made new adventures. And even though I was really critical of the rise of the Ninja Turtle show, I do think both the show and the movie had aspects where it did really honor the lore And like April, I feel like she like even though they race changed her, she like it felt like April. Casey felt like Casey. The Turtles essentially felt like Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo to the core. And the little bit of when we saw Splinter doing stuff, it felt like Splinter at the core. That makes sense. And like, yeah, this may have had some closure for the Turtles, sure, but like the movie, I mean, but I'm wanting the Turtles to like the Rise of the Ninja Turtles to have a season 3, because like I said, I've been rough on the critical of the show. But if they keep this 5 that we got in the show by bringing into this 5 from the movie into the show for season 3 could easily be the best season. Easily. That's just me. What do you guys think? I will pin this comment. I will pin this article in the comment section down below for any of you guys to read. But yeah, what do you guys think? I will be very interested in how you guys feel. Let me know in the comment section down below. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Be kind to one another. I'll catch you guys later. Later, taters.